sick. Holy. Alright, what's up, y'all? We're at the car wash. Just gonna hit it quick with a quick wash so she looks presentable for the camera and no longer like, you know, a prehistoric fossil. Yeah, she's all rinsed up. Pretty okay to me. Alright, y'all, now that we got a pretty decent spot to record in, here she is. I'm pretty confident to say that this is probably one of, if not the most abused Audis in all of Northern California, maybe even all of California. To be honest with you, I'm not the most skilled filming myself talking. If anything, to be honest, I think it's easier for me to race than put this camera in front of my face and talk to it. But we're doing that today, so kind of just bear with me and let this be a learning experience for me. But I'm sure many of you guys are probably wondering why it took so long for a video like this to come out, and I guess the reason is it's just like this car isn't really always in a pristine condition. It's always been kind of like, oh, if I'm gonna make this car intro video, I wanna have this be clean or that be clean, or this weather be good or that weather be good, or to be this time of day. Or the main thing was just the paint on the car. I mean, it's no secret that the paint on this thing is kind of going. It's good anywhere other than the hood and the roof, but those two, I mean, you can kind of see that they're peeling and all that right now. But I mean, she looks good otherwise. It's just I kind of wanted to have the car in a little bit more of a pristine condition, but the more I waited, the more things kept happening to it cosmetically. Like, I'm pretty sure you guys have watched that rock that my homie Audi kicked up when I was chasing him on the mountain that went straight into my windshield. So it's pretty easy to say that this thing has just been getting worse and worse, and cosmetically just getting more and more battle scars. So I've been just kind of came to the realization that it's never really gonna look much cleaner than it is right now, so at least for a while. So let's just make the video. I guess some quick introductions. This is my first car ever. I bought it around 4-ish years ago, probably 3-ish years ago, and it was completely bone stock. I really wanted something all-wheel drive because I don't know if you guys have seen Audi on the channel with his M3 before, but that car is actually the car that got me into cars, period. So I used to not really be that much of a car guy in like high school and whatnot, but during our senior year of high school, I didn't got that M3, and he used to drive me around all the time, and I used to think, what the hell? I used to think it was the sickest thing ever. So I wanted to have a car that could compete with it, and I kind of, through that M3, I kind of really started liking cars, not just for the straight line speed, but for their ability to corner and go around a track or otherwise curvy road really quickly, more than just, you know, go fast on the highway. So I really wanted something that was all-wheel drive for that reason, because, you know, they hook really well in the twisties. And so I was thinking about, well, obviously Evos are out of the reach of, you know, any person that just graduated high school and is or entering college. But So that kind of left me with Subarus and Audis, and I think Subarus in generally are like not the best idea to buy for like a first-time car owner, considering their reputation with reliability. And neither is Audi, but I was really dead set on something that was all-wheel drive, and how the chronology for Audis work, at least this A4 model, is that you have the V5s, so the V5, A4, and S4s, which are pretty famous and pretty popular. And then you got the B6s, which aren't, because to be honest, they kind of look like not the prettiest. Let's be honest here, but they have a really good engine in them. And then you have the B7s, which is what this one is, which has a pretty decent engine. It has a 2.0 T turbocharged, and they're pretty tunable, and they're reliable in the sense that they won't blow up on you as long as you keep up with certain finicky things like cam followers and keep on top of wheel changes, just generic stuff. Yeah, it'll kind of nickel and dime you here and there, but it won't just kick the bucket immediately like a super engine would with their head gasket or rod bearings or anything. And to make that clear, this car has almost 200,000 miles on it. Yeah, 200,000. Most German cars in general don't make it past like 150,000, let's be honest. One, due to their owners, and two, just to the nature of how they're upkept and driven and all that. But even though I kind of beat the crap out of this thing on the toll game, I still keep up with all of its maintenance. Like, hit it with oil changes every 3 or 4K or so. I make sure that anything like important in the engine, like cam followers and stuff like that, are all changed out preventatively. So I guess like in terms of preventive maintenance, what I have done on this car since I bought it is what I've done. Cam follower, I've done. I had to change the high pressure fuel pump because it was busted, and then I did a cam chain tensioner, and then just a whole bunch of other things here and there. But obviously it's not stock, so it needs a level of security so it doesn't, kick the bucket. But I guess we could start with what's under the hood first. Sorry, I had to get the hood up. The hood strut on this thing, guys, I'm sure you guys can see, is blown, so I have this little nifty thing where I use the tire bar and I kind of stick it into here. It's a little indent in there to keep it open. So, but yeah, here she is. She's unfortunately, by the way it looks, she's probably not emissions compliant, allegedly. I think if Gavin Newsom ever got a look underneath my hood, he'd probably, I don't know if he'd start crying, but he might shed a tear or two from the pure amount of emissions laws this thing breaks. But we had I guess from what we could see, I have a left Technic intake system from ECS Steering. Not sponsored by them, but if they want to. We got the left Technic intake system. It's pretty good. It's pretty sturdy. It bolts up pretty nice. I love the way this sounds too. This is also a reusable filter like most cone filters are, so you just wash it whenever you need to. But it looks pretty nice. It fits pretty nice. And it makes really nice sounds. But to the right of that, as you guys might be able to see in there, we have a test pipe. And I know that's a lot of dress up for just a test pipe, but I figured since it emanates more heat, I could put some exhaust wrap around it so it doesn't heat up this whole engine bay that much and melt everything. Not that it really would, in my opinion, but yeah, I have that there. And I also have this kind of semi-custom heat shielding stuff going on. I put just, reflective paneling all over here just to try and keep all the heat off the intake. And I don't really consider this much of a mod, but we have APR coil packs. Apparently it helps with spark a little bit. I don't know if it actually does, but I mean, they definitely last longer. These have been in the car for a really long time. And then can't really see, but somewhere in here I changed out my diverter valve for a go fast pitch diverter valve, just to help kind of hold boost better, and between shifts and whatnot. And then under all this, which obviously you can't see because it's not something physical, we have a APR stage 1 tune. So it makes around, if I had to, I mean, based off the website, I'm guessing on a fresh engine, it says it makes around like 300 torque, 250 horsepower. Obviously, this is an older engine, but that combined with the test pipe and the intake and maybe the APR plugs and then maybe the diverter valve upgrade probably makes around that same bit. It definitely feels like it. It makes around, maybe 300 torque-ish and 250 horsepower-ish. It's definitely not the quickest thing in the world, but it's I would feel confident to say it's fast, in my opinion.
Stop the cap!
So for suspension, we actually have a good bit of stuff going on here. Now, you guys might flame me for this, but bring it on, because I actually have Raceland coilovers on this car, and you guys, I'm probably hearing everyone screaming, "Oh, but those are so cheap, yada yada." I've had them on the car for 2-ish years now, and they've never skipped a beat. They feel pretty comfortable, they ride really comfortable, but they also hold their weight when I'm actually pushing them on the mountain, when I hit huge dips in the road. I've never had any problems with them whatsoever, and they've ran completely fine. So you guys can throw as much shade as you want about Raceland. I'm gonna defend them. I mean, they were cheap, they were only like $600, and I've gotten this level of performance out of them, so fight me, I guess. But yeah, they run pretty well. Nice Nexus over there. But yeah, we got, so for suspension, for the coilovers, we got Raceland Ultimos, by the way, so they're not like the absolute base model Racelands. They're the, I guess, slightly better ones with a little bit stiffer of a spring rate. But in the back, where you guys probably, I mean, I even if I tried, I probably couldn't show it to you. Maybe I can, hold on. We have, no, I'm just not open. We have a 034 Motorsport rear sway bar. So I think it's 24, 25, I think it's 25.7 something rated rear sway bar in the back for 034 Motorsport. Also, again, not sponsored by them, but if they want to sponsor me, hit me up. But yeah, that rear sway bar, to be completely honest with all of you, completely transforms the handling of this car. I mean, it's kind of no secret that Audis in general are, not even just Audis, just all-wheel drive cars as a whole are pretty understeery. Once that went in the car, it took out almost all of the understeer in this car. That sway bar really did a lot to change the handling of this car. So if any of you guys, B7 or any Audi owners as a whole, to be honest, wanted to upgrade the handling of your car, by far the two best things that I can think of are just a decent set of coilovers and that rear sway bar. Any rear sway bar in general would kind of work, but a 034 Motorsport rear sway bar, I'm pretty sure they make one for almost every single relevant Audi model, is going to give you wonders. But and what's also important is to get only the rear sway bar and not upgrade the front one, because if you make the front stiff, then you're just kind of going back to square one, because it's kind of like a big balance game when it comes to, sway bars on cars and whatnot. If your car is understeer, you want a stiffer rear sway. If your car is oversteer, you want a stiffer front sway, or something along those lines. But so yeah, just make sure to watch out for that. Yeah, that 034 Motorsport rear sway bar really does a lot to change the handling of this car, and it was a really good purchase on my end. And then to wrap it all up, we have, these look like RS4 wheels, but they're not. I think they're called Le Mans wheels off of a or S6, and you can kind of tell with the way like the fitment is, it fits a lot better. But they're 19s, and these ones aren't particularly in the best shape. I mean, they have a little bit of curb rash on them just from when I bought them, but they hold up pretty well. They have, right now I have 255 just to prove it to y'all, 255/35 R19s. Michelin Pilot Sport 4 tires on all 4 wheels right now, squared. Granted, these are they're kind of running out of life. I probably need to replace them sooner or later. Maybe in the next like 2 months or so. Mainly just because, obviously I'm tearing them up on the mountain. But they obviously, it's no secret, these are really good tires, and they definitely perform so they hook really well, and also they're just stupid wide for this type of car. I mean, most people don't really run more than a 245 on these B7A4 Quattros. Mainly, in my opinion, because they're not tracking them as much. These are really, once you get it set up, and it doesn't take that much money and effort or time to get these things set up well for handling. Once they are, wow, they can blow a lot of, more famous handling cars out of the water. I mean, I'm not here to brag, and I'm obviously not, saying that this is the best handling car ever, or that I'm the best driver or anything like that. But one other thing that this car has that really helps it out, and another thing that many people kind of overlook, is the brakes. These brakes, believe it or not, these are the stock brake calipers and rotor sizes for the B7A4s. But we have, and the rotors, they're also blank rotors. They're Zimmerman. I don't know if you know them, but they're just like a decent brand of rotors or whatever. But the brake pads, everyone. We have Hawk HPS 5.0 brake pads all around, and my God, they are one of the most phenomenal brake pads I've ever experienced. They're plenty streetable. You can take them out in whatever car that you drive every day, but they also perform amazing in any performance driving application like track or tollgate or otherwise canyon carving or anything like that. These do not fade. I'm being 100% honest with you. I've never got them to fade. So, which is a really, really important thing when you're running these canyons. I feel like a lot of the time when I'm running against people, one thing that this car has above them almost all the time is its brakes, because the brakes just go and go and go, and I can slam on them on however steep of a downhill I want, and they'll just take it, and without any complaint, and they just won't fade. So those are really important if you guys are ever thinking about tracking or canyoning your Audi, or I guess any car even. I feel like brakes are often a very overlooked part of the process of making a car fast around twisties, but yeah, definitely don't forget it. I guess some other things we got going on, I guess we can do cosmetic stuff. I mean, this car cosmetically, I think it looks pretty alright. I mean, if you're a stickler, obviously the peeling paint on the roof and the hood will probably get you, and maybe the battle scars, more rock chips all over the fender and all that, and the whole bumper is just caked with rock chips for obvious reasons that I'm pretty sure you guys are more than aware of from watching the YouTube channel. I guess cosmetically, we could start with, I don't really know if you want to count lowering it as a cosmetic upgrade, but it's lowered, and I guess lowered cars look better generally, so there's that. And we have I have some Spec D headlights, I think that's what they're called, and these actually, looks aside, they're actually pretty decent headlights. They switch from a reflector setup to just a projector setup, and they have this kind of LED strip that runs here for DRLs, and on mine they kind of don't work all the time, but I don't really care, they're not that bright anyways. But they definitely look a lot better than the stock B7 headlights in my opinion, unless you're a purist. But we have those, and then we have obviously the 19-inch wheels. Again, if you want to consider that a looks upgrade, I consider it more of a performance upgrade because I can fit a much wider tire on it, but I guess it does look better, so yeah. We have this was low-key kind of expensive. We have this RS style honeycomb front grille. The main reason I got that is actually kind of a funny story. One time I was running the canyon late at night, and a bunny or a rabbit or whatever jumped up in front of my car and flew into my grill and bent up my well, obviously trashed my grill at the time, but then it also it bent up my AC condenser and slightly bent up my radiator. So when that happened, I pulled over instantly and looked underneath the car, and I just saw this puddle of like pinkish reddish liquid like pouring out of my car. So I was like, oh, well, that's probably coolant. Like, oh crap, I just chucked, you know, my radiator's toast. I need to get a tow truck home and all that. So I towed it home. But looking at it later, and then not even looking at it again, I bought a whole new radiator and all that, ready to throw it in, and just didn't drive the car for a little while. But after I went to go fix it, I realized it wasn't even leaking. That pink liquid wasn't coolant coming out of my car. It was the blood of the rabbit that died, that got sprayed all over the front of my grill. So, and it wasn't leaking at all. So but I did have to take off the AC condenser, and I'm not gonna lie, this is really ghetto, but I put it on the ground and just kind of stepped on it to like bend it back into place. And the radiator I didn't take off, and it does have this really slight indentation into it, but it doesn't leak, and it works just fine. Never overheated or anything, even on the mountains. So the reason I keep pointing over there, by the way, is that's literally the direction of where we go to race. I'm pretty sure you guys can see those canyons in the distance, but yeah, that's where we go and have our fun. But you know, Mexico's over there, so this is the border right here. But yeah, so we have the front grille, which I think looks way better, miles better than the stock grille. Anyone who still has a stock grille, in my opinion, I didn't V7, just lose it. It doesn't look good. It looks like a toaster. This looks way better. I guess otherwise we have, pretty sure you guys, some of you might be wondering what lip this is. I'm gonna be honest with you, this isn't even a lip meant for this car. This lip was meant for a Subaru WRX, and the Hawkeye, and I saw someone on the forum, they were able to kind of chop it up and make it look like this, and I really liked the look of it, so I went, after that whole rabbit incident, it toasted whatever lip I had on it before, so I went, cut this one up, mocked it up, and threw this one on. I think it looks pretty good from this angle. Oh yeah, I think it looks pretty good, and if you guys don't like it, screw you. I really like it. But otherwise, we have some side skirts here. They make I think it was a Maxton Design was the name of the company, side skirts for these cars, but they're stupid expensive, and I wasn't trying to spend $300 on just some strips of plastic, so I just bought like a universal side skirt and kind of mocked it up as best as I could, and I think it looks pretty nice. I mean, it flares out just as much as I want it to, and it has this kind of cool fin here, but it's not too aggressive, and it doesn't look too in your face. It's kind of like if you know type of mod, and I really like it. And then I guess moving towards the back here, we're gonna start repping ECS tuning again, because we got a ECS tuning spoiler lip thing for the trunk, like a little ducktail, and then we have a diffuser, ECS tuning diffuser for the back. And I think what's pretty cool about these two pieces is that depending on the lighting, it actually kind of looks paint matched. I mean, it's obviously just gloss black, you know what I mean, but because of the way that like it reflects off the light, the blue paint of the car kind of reflects onto it, so it kind of looks paint matched in a way. But I really like the way this looks. I feel like this really switched up the rear end of the car. Before, it just kind of looked a little bit too like round, you know what I mean? And this kind of added just enough edge to it to where it would look cool, in my opinion. You know, kind of something that more along the lines of like the RS4. So, but I kind of like the way it looks. And I guess that's kind of everything, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, I guess on the interior. By the way, before you guys all fight me, I just have to confess, this car is a Tiptronic, so it is not manual. But to be honest, I kind of like it. And you guys might start throwing hands with me in the comments, but I'm going to defend it. I really like the Tiptronic transmission in this car, and for reasons that I'll get into. But just to show you guys what it looks like, I actually did switch up the shifter in this car, so it is, again, you can look down there. By the way, don't ask why I have this dealer protector garbage on it. I've just had it there for the past ever, and I just never took it off, and it's kind of a meme now, so I just leave it there. But Anywho, you can see no clutch pedal. Damn, that's dirty. No clutch pedal. But we have a shifter with a boot on it. So I actually got this shifter assembly from this site called Black Forest Industries, as you can see on the little coin on the top of it. And this knob is made out of this really nice, I think it's called Napa leather, but it's really has a good grip, and it feels really nice. It's not too hot in the summer either, which is what it is right now. But it comes with this kind of adapter kit thingy, so that you take off the old ugly shifter. Like, come on, let's all be honest here. The shifter on the Tiptronics just looks horrible. It looks like a cow. It just looks horrible. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have to argue about that. But so I really wanted to change it for the longest time, and I found that adapter kit. So what it does is it kind of just takes that off and then puts a different adapter thingy plate guy on it. So then that just kind of mimics the action of you lifting up on the lever. So if we actually, so you can see right here. Obviously the car's on here. I probably have to turn the car on to show you guys, but so the car's on now. But as you can see, this comes up. So what this coming up is now what is kind of what deactivates the shift lock. So now we're in reverse, neutral, drive, and then manual mode, right? And then obviously from there, like upshift, downshift. But obviously it kind of looks a little bit like posery, and I'm not trying to act like I have a manual car. I don't need to. I own another manual car, which is a new car for the channel, and if you guys made it to this far into the video, you guys didn't the teaser, we have another car on the channel. Don't worry, this one is going anywhere. But yeah, that one's manual, and we'll introduce it here soon enough. But so obviously I don't need to fake it. I have a manual car, you know what I mean? But it just needed to look better. And I got this boot thingy off of eBay, and then I got this. This is actually, you don't need this, I think, but this is actually the manual kind of plate for the shifter. So I bought that, got the boot, and kind of just mocked it all up with zip ties and whatnot and all that, and kind of got it to fit really nice and put it over it. And I mean, it took a little bit of ingenuity, but I think it looks pretty good. It definitely looks like miles better than the other one. And also, this is pretty easy to put on too. Like, this is just the shift knob here, just, you know, goes on and off like a normal shift knob. And this is kind of, I can show you guys, huh? This is kind of the little mechanism that you kind of attach, so to be able to replace the function for the shift lock. But I think it's pretty sweet. Stock steering wheel. This is another thing that I'm gonna fight with some people in the comments for. I love the stock steering wheel on this car. There's something about it. It's just the way, the size and the ergonomics. It just feels so. It doesn't feel too race car, and it doesn't feel too normal. Like, it's like that perfect middle between like race car and normal car. You know what I mean? It's like the perfect. It's like luxurious but not too luxurious. You know what I mean? Like, it has like all the. I really like this volume function that you have on the steering wheel too. I mean, this is all kind of like the functions that are all just kind of generic stuff on, like, you know, newer cars. But even though this isn't a newer car, this is a 2006, but I like it. So fight me. But oh yeah, that, don't mind the check engine light, by the way. That was, the car isn't tuned for the. It doesn't have anything to tune out the lack of a cat, so that's just what the check engine light's for. It honestly comes on and off eventually. I recently did a run on the mountain, that's why it's back on. But, like, you know, after driving around town, normally it comes back off again. So yeah, but yeah, this is her. This is my B7. I know this may not be the most crazy super car, you know, whatever, magical $20,000 YouTube build, you know what I mean? But this is my first car. This is what got me into the car scene. This is what got me into Toge, into canyons, into track and everything. Well, you know, obviously I have another car now, and that I'm not gonna reveal just yet. We're gonna have a whole new video for that. But this, I don't think I'm ever selling this thing, to be completely honest with y'all. And to be honest, this is kind of why I started the YouTube too, is because, you know, keeping up with the maintenance on a car like this. I mean, granted, it's not like this isn't any M4 or anything, but keeping, just any German car in general, just keeping up with the maintenance is kind of taxing on someone like me, you know what I mean? So I figure that maybe if I'm doing all this and, you know, beating my car to its limits, I might as well put it on YouTube and leave it somewhere for everyone to see. But yeah, this is the car that started it all. And I hope you guys enjoy. I don't think I missed anything. But yeah, this is the car that started it all. And I invite you guys to all come and sit along for the ride. Peace.